I'm Johnny Price in Greenville, South Carolina, and this is another of our Talking Head film analyses, where we are not so much concerned with how good a movie might be, as we are with the ideas that come out of the movie. Highly anticipated, The Hunger Games. Based upon the first book of a trilogy of young adult novels by Suzanne Collins, lives up to its hype. Those of you who are fans of the book are not going to be disappointed. And those of you who have not read the book, I don't think either one of you are going to be disappointed either. But for the uninitiated few, here's the setup. In the possibly not too distant future, North America has crumbled. And in its place is now a country that consists of a capital and 12 districts. In retaliation for a failed uprising years and years and years earlier, the capital established the Hunger Games, where each district, each year, is required to provide 2 of their children, male and female, between the ages of 12 and 18, to participate. Now, participation means that the 24 representatives are put out into battle against each other to the death. And it's the last one standing alive who is the victor. Well, living in District 12 is a 16-year-old girl named Katniss, who has a 12-year-old little sister named Prim. And of course, this is Prim's first year of eligibility. Now, the 2 participants are selected by lottery, and when the day comes and the crowd of district residents are all together with the young people up close to the stage, and the hand goes into the bowl to pick out the name that comes out is Prim. And when that happens, Katniss bursts forth and demands her right to volunteer to take the place of her little sister. So, Katniss and her male counterpart, Peeta, played by Josh Hutcherson, are on their way to face some opponents, many of whom are bigger and stronger, and some of whom have worked and trained for this all of their lives. In addition to Ms. Lawrence and Mr. Hutcherson, there is a really good cast that includes Donald Sutherland, Stanley Tucci, Wes Bentley, Elizabeth Banks, Woody Harrelson, and Lenny Kravitz. One of the things that you'll find in the movie are a number of motifs that are seamlessly sewn into the story. For example, gladiators, of course. Reality TV, where people at times pit themselves, at times viciously, against other people. There is a Christ figure. Lord of the Flies, The Truman Show, and the inevitable look of a totalitarian government with its privileged few living in opulence due to the labor supplied by the impoverished many, while the tyrant at the top talks to the people of the benevolence of the government of the capital in providing for the people's needs. As is to be expected, since we're talking about two different mediums when we talk about books and films, I found watching The Hunger Games decidedly different than reading the book. Even though the director, Gary Ross, is so faithful to the book that one of the reviewers described his approach as paint by numbers. But listen, the deal is hardly anybody sat down and read The Hunger Games in one sitting uninterrupted. But that is exactly what you do when you go to watch the story in a movie theater. Now, it's one thing to read about children hunting each other down and murdering each other, although in the books Miss Collins tones down the graphic parts. It's another thing to watch children in that position, although director Ross had the graphic parts really brief and not very graphic. Still, I found myself, after sitting for 2.5 hours, far more worn emotionally than I had been when I read the book. Because when I read the book, I wasn't worn emotionally at all. Now, if there are two major themes, to my thinking, that come out of the film, they are these. First, the depravity of man, which seems to have an unlimited capacity to imagine and provide new and different approaches for the same old evils. But secondly, there is grace, sacrifice, and beauty, where one person, in a very practical way, by their action, loves another person. Stench and perfume arising out of the same species. We are a corrupt species, but each one of us has also been created in the image of God. Now, it is certainly a marred image now, but it is an image that still remains. I'm Johnny Price, and this has been another of our Talking Head film analyses.